Here is 2023, January 8th today. It's a Sunday. Once again, it's a late recording. Hang out with my friends. Played some tabletop simulator. And then it was like 10 something, so I was feeling a bit hungry, so I went to get McDonald's. And that actually took a bit longer than I was expecting. I was originally thinking to like do this like at the McDonald's parking lot. It was super dark out because it's almost midnight. So yeah, I just came back instead. So I just basically came back to do this as like at my usual place instead. Also got something else to kind of like change things up. Like instead of Sabo, we have this pink penguin. Okay, so the card of the day is Three of Swords. I actually drew the card late today because I was thinking that maybe I was like drawing the card first thing of the day might be kind of like priming me, or like to have like to think of certain things where it's like where it's like affecting me like at least subconsciously like a bit too much, right? Especially with before, where it's like if I had a bad card, I like for that whole day I actually was like feeling really bad. I think that was like for January 3rd or 4th. That's what happened. And I don't think that's really healthy for me. But yeah, we have the swords cards again. Last time I think it was like 7 or something like that. No, it was 7 of wands. I think we had like 5 of swords or something. I don't know. But this time we have 3. Let's see, what is it called? Okay, let's look at the imagery here first. It's 3 swords with a heart and 2 eyes, like piercing through a cloud. I don't know. It could mean so many things. I guess. Oh, and the eyes are like crying too. Ugh. Okay, this does not look good. I don't know. It feels like I'm being like judged here with these swords. Like I am being judged here like very heavily, and then there's like a lot of like sadness associated with it. I feel like of like emotional kind of like emotionally feeling upset about something, piercing through the clouds. I don't know. I feel like you could interpret it as, I guess, the swords like piercing through like, I don't know. Cloud could mean many things. At first, I thought my initial impression was that like the clouds is like my dreams, my hopes and dreams, and the clouds are, and then the swords are like piercing through it, like literally killing my dream. I don't know. Something bad is happening, but it could also be, I don't know. I guess what's clouding my judgment, and having like these things, my eyes and my mind, can like help like clearing the things up. I don't know. We'll see what it means. Okay. Disruptive force. Okay, so it is kind of like not really that positive. Disruptive forces, so I guess like, you know, cloudy mind fog, I guess. Incompatibility, heartache, distance, absence, alienation, unrest, confusion, delay, loss of bearings, loss of moral compass, resolving a moral dilemma, victory through right action, the healing power of pure intentions, no pain, no gain. So I think, yeah, in general, this seems to be a very, well, not very, but at least seems to be a negative card here, where it focuses on how just like, I guess mentally, I am like very upset and unsettled, like kind of like having like a feeling of like loss of direction. Honestly, it was kind of like that today. I was walking my dog, and there's like a little forest trail nearby, and during which I kind of like went back into the state of mind where it's like I'm thinking about a lot of things, right? And yeah, honestly, it's like not really. Basically, you see what happened like in the first like 3 days of the journal. It's basically something similar to that happening again, but nothing like too intense. I think like my high times, or it's like the period of time where I'm like feeling good about myself is like almost over. Let's see, delay, confusion, unrest. I think this definitely also applies because originally I think I said yesterday where I said I want to like work on my project more, right? Well, I did eventually work on my project, but that's like literally after midnight. No, and I worked on it until like 5 a.m. or something. No, not 5 a.m. I would say 3 a.m. Or something like that, where I was like, I didn't make too much progress, but I do have like a general kind of like an outline, kind of like out there, and I think I'm just like not exactly having the most confidence in what I wrote, because like I don't exactly have like the most experience in like writing things like these, like a plan for a project or something like that. Like I'm not exactly the type of person to do that. Even for like the essays and stuff that I had to write for school, I usually just like gun it. I just like write whatever it is that's on my mind out, and usually it's cohesive enough that it can be, I don't know, like 1,500, like 3,000 words, something like that. So yeah, I think for this one, it's like a new experience for me. So definitely a lot of like unrest and confusion. Incompatibility, disruptive forces. I don't know. I think these are more about like in terms of my relationships, right? I guess this do sort of apply, because I did sort of like get into a fight with one of my family members, and I don't know. Do you call it a fight? I'll say it's like a quarrel. But yeah, there's definitely like something like not really going the best for me. Distance, absence, alienation. Yeah, in terms of like just the relationship with that person. Loss of moral compass. Not sure what that's supposed to mean. Because like for me, I think I never really, I don't know. I think this is just a constant thing. Like I'm always kind of like not sure like what is the quote unquote right thing to do, or the right position to take. Like I'm always kind of like wishy-washy about it, because I don't feel like there is one in the first place. I guess this means, yeah, I guess this makes me like a subjectivist, like moral subjectivist, where I don't think there's like a universal, like a moral law, and a lot of these are just like more subjective than anything. But yeah, that's not really like loss, it's just always there. Resolving a moral dilemma. I guess if the car was like upside down, it would mean that, but no, this time it's not exactly that. Let's take a look at what the individual parts mean in terms of the suits and the number. So, swords, it's air. It's about worry, illness, trouble, and strife. Yeah. And then what's the number 3 mean? Sociality, group, communication, entertainment, result, movement. Yeah, so it's basically having a lot of worries and issues with, like in terms of my, I guess, my interpersonal relationships, right? Like communication, group, sociability, yeah. Entertainment, results, and movement. I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean in terms of like movement, results, and entertainment. Do I get bored easily? Yeah, but that's kind of like every day. I don't know. But I think the focus for today is definitely in terms of like my the argument I had with my family member, one of my family members, as well as my lack of progress with my project. I think these are the major things that kind of like, I guess the card represents, or at least kind of like reflects upon. Yeah. Healing power of pure intentions. Well, I don't know. Like, no pain, no gain. Well, I guess that's just like kind of like the positive sides of things. I think it goes back to one of the other cards that I drew before, where it's like I have to kind of like, I think it's the Chariot, like literally the first card that I drew, where I just have to kind of like go through with it and trust in myself. So despite like today was like filled or kind of like marked by a lot of like interpersonal and emotional issues, hopefully I'll be able to kind of like get through them. You know, a good night's sleep hopefully can kind of resolve it, and the project itself and maybe work, it can maybe, you know, help to alleviate or is like act as like a distraction for me and help alleviate some of like the stress and like the focus on these things that are kind of like bothering me a lot, and hopefully they will get resolved as well. Yeah, well, that's it for today. It's also quite short, but then again, there's not much happening in my life in general. I'm surprised that I was able to like which one was it, which day was it? There were like 20 minutes. I don't know how I did that, but yeah, 10 minutes sounds about right for me. All right, that's it for today. This is Nice Penguin.